erectile kikan. It was, I don't know, the language, the rod sharp broke.
If you're going to be silly, you're going to be silly.
Then I'll give you silly.
I like that.
When we used to do Shakira.
You know?
I tried it with it did not move. That says a fool at 40 is a fool forever. Sure. Like, am I not going to be a fool at 40? And the way they advertise it, slimy, juicy, and they never speak good English. Like, you have to be juicy. I'm playing too much. Hello and welcome on the E.B.U.N show. Today we're going to be discussing life in our 30s. Of course I have a guest, but before I unveil my guests, I woke up tired today, so you're going to have to make do with my bare face. This is my real face. Like, you know when they say something is smelling? Like, my makeup wasn't just it today, so take this. I'm not even asking for permission. Anyways, I have Funtola. Why is she laughing? She's somewhere there before I bring her on camera on the show, and we're going to be talking about our life in 30s, our experiences, the things that have changed, and if there are midlife crises. You're welcome on the show. So yes, you saw Funto on the last episode. Now she's here in person, live and direct, in flesh and blood. And we're here to talk about life in our 30s. I'm 36, Funto is 34.
5?
Eh?
Yeah.
They're not 35.
Big girls.
Am I not 2 years older?
No, ma'am.
Am I 1 year older?
Yes, ma'am.
You don't know why it's going on.
I used to think I'm the big sister like.
It's still big.
1 year is big. So we're in our mid-30s. We're no longer young. So we're here to talk about life in our 30s. So we'll be answering certain questions we've written out. So we'll start with the first one.
Describe life in your 30s in 5 words.
Interesting. Maybe not in the real sense of the word.
Interesting.
A little bit of a challenge, but let's just say challenging.
Interesting, challenging.
It's a learning phase. That's 2 words, right? But yeah,
Half man.
learning. I'm still learning. Unlearning, learning, and relearning. Is that 3 words or 1 word? Does it count for 1?
Okay, no, that's 3 words. Don't do it.
That's 3 points, Abby.
Yeah, 3
Okay,
points.
so yeah, challenging, interesting, learning, unlearning, and relearning.
You think so they're wise?
Have you counted 5 like that?
That's 5 now.
Okay, 5 words. Children, husband, business.
What's wrong with this one?
Family, kitchen.
Oh, that's a joro. Children, husband, family.
Extended family and mixture. And mixture of family, business, kitchen. That's about what my life is about. But deep wisdom, don't you?
Spot on.
Somebody hears that now, they'll think that you actually visit that kitchen more often.
Do you eat outside?
Next question.
Can you imagine? You see, that's the problem, because they don't even know the extent of it.
Sure.
Can you imagine?
True.
Number 2. How do you cope with aging and the changes in your body?
Sure is after every question you be doing.
Yes, because it's deep. Oh, deep.
Maybe you don't even have so much wrinkles. I think for aging, I can't see on your face like these frown lines, like they are now more prominent. Sometimes I have to hold this place, especially maybe when I'm praying or when I want to be serious. Like, don't go deeper than you already are.
I can actually relate to that because I consciously try to raise it up. So maybe mine are invisible. I get a headache by looking normal. My normal face, gives me a headache because it feels as if I'm frowning, but then I have to constantly keep doing this so that it relieves the pressure there, and then I don't get to have a headache. So almost every day, yeah, I have to go through that phase.
Why not just do surgery?
What can always smiling
or expressionless face? I think I have wrinkles here. The kind of eye I have,
but your eyes have always been like exactly. So we have that downward.
Yes,
turn.
Downward kind of.
So when you're looking up, the lines tend to show.
You understand, like obvious and everything. Then I think the skin around the neck is a bit softer now. There was a time I think it was one of the episodes of the E.B.U.N show I was seeing, and I was seeing how soft. I'm like, hello. What is going on?
I'm not too hard on myself in that regard. I know I've gotten bigger. I know in fact I'm much bigger. I've always known I had the tendency to be big.
You have been,
you know,
shade bodies in the lower region.
But then this one is shocked me.
Which?
The way I gained weight shocked me.
He shocked you.
And then the fact that it's so hard to lose the weight, even after almost 3 years, it's shocking. But then, put my head up.
What it is.
Yeah, so
you know
what it is.
You still have to walk with pride.
Yeah.
Let's talk about tummy size, breast sagging. Well, what are those marks called?
Stretch marks.
Stretch marks, yes.
See, those ones have come to be part of life.
Like deal with it.
So it is when I really want to be really want to snatch, and it is not all the time. It is like, what's the most you say?
I can't kill myself.
You have a big tummy. Like, see, I think somehow God has even helped. Before I used to feel like the kind of perception people have of me, I want them to perceive me as someone who is very nice, and you know people's first perception of me from school, like she'll be tough, I think it has helped stop some nonsense from like it's a filter
from comments, all those negative and
so before you even bring it, you'd have thought twice, like
No, I don't think that stops Nigerians though. If you're gonna be silly, you're gonna be silly.
Then I'll give you silly.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's the spirit. I need to learn that.
I gave you like, why not just face yourself? Leave me alone.
I think people's perceptions of you affect us more than how we see ourselves. And like they said, the negative words have more impact than positive words. So if one person who means a lot to you says, oh, you're beautiful, you're still sexy, I still find you attractive, and you have like 5 other people say, I see your tummy,
irrelevant ones,
horrible, this and that, oh, I look at your extra chin, your double chin, and all that. You now start thinking and processing, okay, do I have to suck my tummy in more when I'm outside and all that? And for me, I'm just like, I'll lose the weight at my own pace, but then it's a struggle. It's a huge struggle, and then especially since we had flat tummies and nice bodies
from school
before we got married. and so on one hand you want to snap that, don't you know I just housed a human being, a whole human being, and then on the other hand you feel like you're not doing enough for your own body, like, oh, you have some other women who are sexy and they be like, oh, mother of 3, and then still looking. But it's just their genes or whatever it is that they think it is.
Okay, so yes, because life is not the same for everybody.
Sure.
There's an extent to which you want to put yourself under pressure. There was when I listed out the topics for the E.B.U.N show, and we're talking about your postpartum body, someone suggested volunteered to be a guest, and I declined because I was like, this body you have, it is not anything you did. It is strictly gene. So I don't think there is much you can tell me, because it wasn't as if we fattened up by ourselves, like we just, this culture that they go somewhere and they begin no, it's just the gene, it's the type of body. So you don't want to make all the social media influencers the yardstick for yourself, because truth be told, most of them have undergone surgery.
Yeah.
Not all of them will come and I said most, and not all those who have gone through surgery will come to tell you I went through surgery. So do not kill yourself. The tummy is there. When I feel like I want to appear a certain way, I use my waist trainer. When I don't feel like, please face front.
Considering tummy tucking and all
No,
things like
don't
that.
bother. Maybe
The side effects actually that I've
Scares
heard,
you.
yes, have just brought a lot of fears. I'm like, there's no point. I'm going to wear my big tummy with pride.
Oh, shit. Do you ladies feel like you're running against time?
A lot of times. I try not to. Yeah.
I did it for you.
Yeah. A lot of times, actually. A lot of times. Because you feel like, oh, you're nearing 40. And then you're like, what have I actually achieved? You know how when someone wants to celebrate you, they feel like they should outline all the things that they see, the tangible things. But then, you just have to encourage yourself because you are not in the same lane, basically. You have gone through different experiences, you have different challenges, you have different dreams as well. So, I mean, looking at someone else's race, don't even try it because every man for himself.
So when I clocked 36, I was like, I have just 4 years. So 40. And it just looks like that 40 is like a grand thing you have to celebrate.
Big deal, yeah.
You understand? You have to have achieved certain things. And when they, the saying that says a fool at 40 is a fool forever.
Sure.
Like, am I not going to be a fool at 40? What have I been able to do for myself? And you just want to have something solid that you have done with life. And then I think 2 years back, when this lady, this interior lady, when she had the grand opening of, I'm like, hey, at 36. At 36.
Oh, you see them doing it at 22, 25.
And you're like, oh my God. Oh my God.
What is happening?
What is happening to me? So yes, sometimes you feel like it could bring a lot of pressure.
Yes.
Yeah, where you feel, what am I supposed? I'm not doing well. Especially when you see, like you said, in their 20s, in their 30s, some genuinely so. A lot of we know what, but you just feel some have very legit things that they're doing.
True.
And they're doing well for themselves, and you just look around you. Then sometimes because you let a lot of things becloud the seemingly little things you have been able to achieve.
True.
It could be a problem. So you need a constant reminder that you are not doing so. I think, well, it's my husband who does that for me, because half the time I'm hard on myself.
Biggest critic.
Yes.
Does it have anything to do with your concept of happiness? Has your definition of happiness changed over the years?
Jump question.
To a great extent, yes, it has changed because in my 20s, I felt if I was comfortable, I could afford what to eat, shelter. I had my own independence to a certain level. I had my privacy. I was happy. I was good to go. I was ready to take on the world. But now,
there's more.
It's the little things. It's a word here, an encouraging word here. The smile on your child's face, or the joy. There's one look that you get sometimes from someone you love, and you're making me happy. You're doing well, and so little things like that make me happy. Even if every other thing seems to be going south, but then those little things are my own definition of happiness right now in this phase that I am. So I just take that and run with it, because if I decide to dwell on every other thing, real life actually, you'll just be discouraged.
In 20s, I used to think affordability, close to what you said. Like if I could afford some things, if I could own this, have my business, have this. But now I think it is more. There's just something. There's a sense of fulfillment that I'm chasing that is beyond. Fine, money will play a vital role in it, but I'm just finding out that there is something more, like there's a book, or is it a film, In Search of Happiness or something that they call it, In Pursuit of Happiness. There's just something. But I've also learned that while you are at it, it might be a long journey. You don't want to kill every other thing that brings you happiness in the process of searching for it, because you find out that it never really ends until the day you die. There's something you're always looking for.
Well, let us spice this conversation up. Let's talk about your marriage.
Okay.
My crush versus the man I ended up with.
Okay. My own will sound foolish to so many. Funto, you go first here.
Okay, so having crushes, yeah.
Don't worry, your husband will not be watching.
In having crushes, yeah, I tended to people who had, good sense of humor. It wasn't about the looks and stuff like that. So actually it was the same with my husband. So I wouldn't say I can compare my crushes or my crush with who I ended up with, because it was more about how you make me laugh, not about how you look, what kind of values you bring to the table, things like that. So with looks, I don't think I had a type. I never really had a type. I just knew that you have to be confident with yourself, and that also had an impact on me as well, because I'm not trying to measure up, but it's not giving me any complex or whatsoever. But then they're good. There's no comparison there.
Mine was funny enough, I've not even forgotten his name. Why? But it's in my head. This Indian actor, Shah Rukh Khan. You didn't call his name well. From the epiglottis, Shah Rukh Khan. Wasn't someone I liked to marry. It was just that person, I wasn't that person who really liked his style, but I just liked him in particular. I still like him, So now I wouldn't mind meeting him. Like, I would have just loved to meet him.
आपको इंटरोगेटर चाहिए? मैं करूँगा, मैं हूँ ना. You got the joke? Yeah. अरे मैं इतना अच्छा एक्टर हूँ, मैं कोई भी रोल कर सकता हूँ. क्या? फिल्म के लिए नहीं, ये इंटेलिजेंस एजेंसी रिक्रूटमेंट के लिए. अरे नहीं, मैं तो हेलो.
And I married a black man from Ekiti.
No, that's why we banned India film in this house.
Does he still act though?
He still does.
Oh,
I think he's aging so fine. He's old now.
Alright, let's move on to the next question. Since you have started fantasizing.
Okay.
So a research says that, this is interesting, that you may hit your sexual peak in your 30s. One big thing to enjoy about being in your 30s is great sex. What is your experience in this regard?
You go first.
I don't know. Okay, maybe science is wrong, because I honestly don't know.
Are you on a
Maybe.
too?
You don't know why it's going on.
I don't know. You just skip.
You're skipping what? You're not allowed
Up to the next one. Honestly, I don't know if science is right in my case. And of course, if it's an hypothesis, or it can't be completely right for everybody.
Exactly.
You must have done your research on some number of people, not on everybody. So I don't think there will always be some exception.
Don't you think you've gathered more knowledge over the years?
Oh, yes.
Come on.
Okay, you are saying, you
That's
could
your
answer the
answer.
question because you had one experience in it.
Experience in what?
Shegba, who am I doing the sex with though?
No, I'm just trying to say, if you are saying that science is not true, I'm just saying I'm not doing it.
So, well, no, maybe it's not about in your 30s. The experience of marriage too. So if you've been married for, in our case, 7 years. So So of course and if you love each other, you find a way for your sexual life to be better. You want to explore together and all of that. So I don't think it's a matter of the age as it is a matter of the experience you have had. Because if I married 2 years ago, of course I would be in my 30s. I might not be as good. There are some things we have tried and we felt, okay, this is not good for us. My husband sent me, let me cast him on national TV. So my husband sends me a grid of pictures of different styles. I'm like, this one you will break your neck. This one,
try it first.
Try what? See, you will carry your neck and put those ones gone are so impracticable.
No flexibility anymore, right? So this is where the age thing comes in, right?
Share.
So you're not as flexible as you were when you were
when we used to do Shakira.
You know?
I tried doing it did not move. Okay, really, there's some things that you feel are they normal to be trying this? Is it even safe?
True.
Because
sense?
you want to make it exciting, but okay, I have a doctor friend, and there was a day that he put on his status and was saying the kind of erectile kicker. It was, I don't know, the language, the rod sharp broke.
Can it actually break? Is there
not break? There was a way he said it. You know, maybe the woman is jumping for Kofiki on the and Baba. So you have to be careful.
Breakage is serious.
Don't be commenting on my.
Yeah.
I've gone first.
I think there was a decline for me with the age thing. Because I feel I was more flexible, I was more willing to try things. Now I feel we should have gotten over that. On the other hand, I feel like I'm depriving my husband of some of the experience that he should be getting. But then I was raised in a conservative way and all that. So at this point in time, I feel like my focus is my child, my business, how to get ahead in life and make more money and but then that sex thing is really important. It's just that at this point in my life, or maybe at this age, I just feel that's not the most important, so I'm not willing to put in that much effort. That's me trying to be not too hard on myself. Let me put it that way. But then the interest has actually declined for me personally. I wouldn't go out of my way to make the first move. I never used to do that in my 20s, to be honest. But now it's more like, I just want to sleep, or I just want to
recommend Kayamata for her.
Yes, actually, I'm actually accepting suggestions.
We have to look for explore together.
Organic aphrodisiacs, yes.
And the way they advertise it, slimy, juicy, and they never speak good English. Like you have to be juicy. I'm playing too much.
Yeah, so
you have to be juicy.
It's nothing to break our necks though. So we are willing to try, make the effort.
Let's talk about friendship in your 30s. How your concept of friendship has changed over the years.
You look like you have a lot to say.
Funty, you are the guest. Speak now.
Or forever hold your peace. Well, my concept of friendship hasn't changed that much. Because I have the same friends I've had. So when they say 20 friends cannot be together for 20 years. In my case, we've actually been together for that long. I mean, we've had issues, no doubt. But my friends they're very, very, very important. We might not speak every day. We might not speak that often. We might not even see for years. But when we see or when we talk, we hit it off all over again. Like we go from 0 to 1001 because there's so much to catch up on. There's no bad blood. If there's any bad blood, I mean, that has ended the friendship. I wouldn't pretend or continue forcing it because I believe that that's the end of the journey. But most of my friends, I can tell you this for a fee actually, but it's free today, that they have been awesome from the beginning to the end. Yeah. We good like that. We good like that.
Is E.B.U.N one of them?
Yes, this girl. We've been friends since part 1 in E.B.U.N.
Jesus, take the lead.
I hope I played that song.
I can do this on my own. I'ma let it go. So give me one more chance.
Save me from this road I'm on. See, free concert.
Have your voices been this bad since?
What do you mean? No, don't worry. People will pay to come and hear us sing, but that's not our
So my
line,
concept
no?
of friendship has changed a bit, or maybe a lot. It has moved from flock to very selective. Yes, but like, you know, at some point you could still endure some maybe bad vibe for the sake of but now, like, there is no time. If you are not it, like, really, because there are lots of things to think about before you could care about friendship. You really have time to mend some certain things.
Friendships are not worth it.
You know, that are not worth it. You find a pattern in a person over the years, and now you just feel there is more to life. You are mostly busy with your family, with work, and really you don't need something. You don't need someone to bring a bad baggage to you. If it is not productive, then I think I'd always been blunt, but maybe more blunt now. I tell you to your face. Or maybe I don't tell you, you just say that I'm not really interested and I don't pretend about it. There was another friend that, of course, she's still now a good friend. But when we were growing up, I felt she was a user, and it was just all about what you wanted. And I had to tell her. She didn't know. Of course, I remembered all you did. So when I told her, I said you had been a user. For me? And I said yes. But amazingly, we talked about it. And then I've learned to define the kind of friendship. Not everybody can be close. Like you said, we met when we caught up the last time. We were even talking about things we'll not say to the people we see every day.
True.
You know?
True.
There's a level of friendship, but now I've learned to define
Boundaries.
This is where you belong. And that is where you are.
Yes. Set boundaries.
All right, so there's what they call the good girl syndrome. It's more like certain limitations that culture and time have placed on you. So women, for instance, believe that they are to live their lives for their children. And a situation where you begin to feel guilty when you even get good things for yourself.
She just said it now. Even our sex life is suffering.
Because of the children.
Because of...
I just want to. But yes. I mean, initially, or maybe because that's how I've always been, I tend to look out for others more than I do myself. And I haven't had the best end of the stick because of that. So I focus on myself more now. I just say, okay, I admire this thing, I'm going to buy for myself. So as much as we are thinking, oh, this money could actually have gone into the house or feeding or something else, you're also thinking, no, I also have to look good. I have to keep up with some trends, maybe not all because I can't be bothered. But then I'm a jewelry person, and I haven't bought any jewelry for myself in about 4 years. Thereabouts, yes. So I was intentional about it that this year I'm going to do this. I haven't had a photo shoot since maybe my pre-wedding photo shoot. This year I said 35, okay, it's not such a big deal, but for me I said this one is going to be a big deal. I'm going to have a photo shoot, I'm going to get new clothes, I'm going to do my makeup, I'm going to go all out. And I'm proud to say I did it. I did it.
I saw the pictures. I'm like, Funto.
Is this me? Oh yeah, I also cut my hair. I dyed it or I bleached it. So this year is for me. I'm learning.
Would you have cut your hair if you were in your 20s?
Maybe not. I placed a lot of value on my hair.
She had very long, good hair.
So I mean, even if I had headaches or if I felt like I was having a meltdown, I would still have kept my hair because I felt my hair was one of my best attributes. So but now, I mean, despite the fact that I also feel now that having cut my hair, I look probably chubbier, my double chin shows more, because with hair you can hide it and all that. But I'm still grateful that I did this. I mean, I cut it 5 years ago and I didn't do anything. I just cut it and then allowed it to grow back out. But this time around, this year is for me. The good girl. I still take care of my family. Don't get me wrong.
Of course. See, I'm looking at you because I want to see where this is leading.
But no, I was intentional about it this year, and I'm going to try and enjoy myself some more, by myself, for myself, with myself. Thank you. You go.
Oh, okay. So I can't say that I've broken free of the good girl syndrome, because a lot of times, if I don't do it now, or I even take an amount of money with me to the market that this is going to be for me, and I end up buying things for the children, even beyond budget, where I have to have overspent. I get home and I'm like, how did I spend this much money? Something I didn't plan for, and I'm like, okay. I get my determination this time. I break it. So I receive grace from you to be able to enjoy myself. I'm really going to try it this year. There's a money that's coming in for me. I've not told my husband. I'm going to buy a wig first. Wait, don't cough.
Babe, we never pay school fees.
Excuse you. You see, that's what we're talking about.
Exactly.
I'm going to get a wig.
All right, you guys should go now. What's your advice for women entering their 30s and those who are in their 30s already?
I would say focus on yourself. Do things.
Pay more attention to yourself.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Do things that you love to do. There's the whole desire, or I won't say obsession, because I feel that society also puts a lot of pressure on the woman, especially if you're going to your 30s and you're not married. And with marriage comes a lot of responsibilities, good and bad. But then I feel that going into your 30s, being in your 20s, you should do things that you can be proud of in the future. Do things for yourself. I mean, if you have to go to school, if you have to take a course, if you have to buy something that you know that in the next 5 years you still see that thing and be proud, please go ahead and do it. Just be happy, develop yourself. That's the most important thing. And do you. I mean, okay, that do you has been abused so much lately, but definitely do you. Don't think about what the world thinks. Don't think about how society sees you. Do you.
Everything you're doing should not be in preparation of I'm going to settle down in marriage. So you're prepping yourself towards marriage alone. I think you should just prep yourself generally towards a goal for life that you want to achieve, because you will not really have that time.
Exactly.
And as in, go out, have dates. So Funto and I and Adiola. Okay, so Adiola has reached me and we were planning to hang out, and so I said, okay, Funto, let's make it 3. We've not had that date till now.
Since May.
So I think you should enjoy yourself. You should really explore the world. You should travel if you have the money to, because it's not saying marriage is the end of life, but before you do anything you have to think twice, because you no longer live your life for yourself. You have to consider like maybe 3 other humans before you make decision for yourself. Then maybe at some point I've told my husband that me, I'm going to travel. He'll say, if me one call like hello. I'm just trying to say that you have you don't live for yourself alone. Of course, there should still be value on individuality in marriage, but then there's so many things you have to let go. You have to think twice before you do. So in your 20s or before, if you're 30s and you're not married yet, you should spend life. Of course, the world people will not let you enjoy it, because they are saying go and get married. Sometimes it gets to us, but I think there's something we need to do consciously for ourselves, not to listen to these people and live the fullest
they
of
should
life.
also stop it.
But we can't
control that, right?
control them. And you see, you know why you should not listen to people? Because if you're in your 20s and some were maybe lucky or were rushed into marriage in their 20s, early 20s, some by choice, and it's going good for them. You see people in their 30s who are not married, go and marry. You are putting as if it's a crime somewhere to be single in your 30s. People get married, you're pressuring them to give birth.
You don't stop.
It doesn't stop. So the earlier you know this, the better. And they give birth, you're asking for a second child, like in case of Funto. Oh my God. They have same sex, they're pressuring them. They have 4 children, you're telling them they have too much. I said, this life, like, you cannot keep listening
Freedom
to
of
people.
expression has gone haywire.
You know, I'm a blunt person. They say, you know, I'm sure that was why you said, do you has been misinterpreted.
Yes.
Some people have loose mouth and they feel they are open.
Like
I'm
gonna say it as it is.
Yes.
Emotional intelligence.
Only problem.
It's very important.
Have you spoken?
Thank you very much. Come on, be going.
So thank you. Join us on another episode of the E.B.U.N show. Subscribe, and please, we want to know if you're in your 30s. Are you having midlife crisis? Yes.
Is it midlife yet?
Kind
That's
of.
like
They
quarter.
say yes.
State of the mind.
Yeah, that's a quarter life crisis.
Because we're going to live very long. Okay, so let us know in the comment section. Let us know what your 30s are like, or if you just stepped into 30s. You're welcome to the club. Clap for them now. You're welcome to the club. Let us know what the feeling is like. What memory in your 20s would you like to relive? You must answer my question. All right, thank you for staying the time with us. Bye. Subscribe, like, share. You know the job already.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Click on the notification bell. I'm always on YouTube.
She had to come and do
Your
opening.
intro.
Opening.
Intro.
Yeah.
Careful.
Oh, wow.